Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset episode 134. This podcast is about anything and everything related to the Destiny franchise. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, we welcome to the show guest host MegaMagwitch, and we talk all about Husky Raid and how they make their awesome dance videos, our experience in Crimson Days, and get excited for upcoming updates to exotics. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It is Cyborg here, and today I have a special guest host in store for you, Mr. MegaMagwitch.
Hello,
how you doing, my friend?
Hello. That's not how I talk. Wouldn't that be horrible? You guys tune into your pod. You're expecting normal podcasting. Hi, my name
Hey
is
guys.
Mega. Welcome. Hi. I'm MegaMagwitch.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on the show.
It's a long time coming. We've needed to have you on here for a while.
I've been obsessively texting you like a teenage girl for years.
I don't know
now.
Because I blocked your number a while ago, but
oh, that explains it. I just keep getting texts back in Spanish that say like K every time I send them. So I think I might have the wrong number anyway.
Have you ever seen the guy that works for Activision, Justin?
Yes,
and
how
his story about his cell phone number.
I don't know if I've seen the cell phone. Wait,
okay, he has this long-running thread about how his number used to belong apparently to a drug dealer.
Ooh,
and he gets really funny, strange texts from people occasionally, and he just replies with like pictures of dogs and cats and stuff.
Beautiful.
I'll have to dig up the thread. It's hilarious. So anytime he gets like a new message, he'll update it, and it's like dozens of
awesome
tweets.
Awesome.
Anyways,
I would rather have a picture of a cute puppy than a drug. Stay in school, kids. Don't do drugs. Puppies instead.
Can do drugs.
Yeah.
Does that work?
I think it works. You can smoke a puppy, is what we're saying. All right.
Podcast lawyer would like to just chime in and say, "Don't smoke puppies." You're probably wondering, where's AER0KNIGHT and who let these guys off leash this week? He is out for personal reasons, and he also has a badminton game tomorrow, so he wouldn't be able to make it. But he sends his regards, and we'll be back next week as usual.
That's the most old-timey excuse to miss a podcast ever, to have a badminton game. Like,
look, man, I'm just a messenger.
That's fine. It's like if I texted somebody and I was like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" I have a badminton game. Like, I'd be like, "You're lying to me. Come on, don't."
Got a rousing game of handball.
Couldn't even give me like tennis. Couldn't even give me something that people still play. Are you on the Olympic team? What are you playing badminton for? It's fine.
It's totally made up. So, but yeah, so. MegaMagwitch, if you are not familiar, I'm going to call you Mega for the rest of the time.
Please do.
If that's okay.
Please. Actually, I'm very insulted that you would even think you could. We're not there yet.
It was a request and a statement. If that's okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
All right. Hi. Well, to explain why I'm here to begin with, I do Husky Raid. That's my group. So if you ever seen dumb dance videos in Destiny, that's where I'm from. Yep. That's what qualifies me to be on this podcast right now.
That's all it took.
Yeah, that's literally all. They said, this man knows how to use an emote. Get him in here. All right. He has spent a lot of money in the Eververse back when you could just buy what you wanted.
For the record, I've been a huge fan of those videos for a long time. So,
thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Really love your work.
Oh, geez, it's so embarrassing when people say that to me. I just never know, how to handle it. It's just, oh gosh, no. I appreciate that, but yeah, play a lot of Destiny in my time, working on those videos. Also, I mean, we do machinima and stuff too on the channel, but that's
Destiny Cops, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Head writer right here, baby, and voice actor. That's how I roll. But yeah, I'm just a goofy dumb guy who likes video games and any opportunity to talk about them, and this was one of those opportunities, so here I am.
Yeah, and you've been a member of the Destiny community going back.
I
started. To the start.
I actually didn't start at the beginning. I started a little bit into House of Wolves, like before the Taken King came out.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I know.
Fair enough.
It hurts my street cred a lot of the time in the Destiny community.
You
but
had to say something.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. But look, back in those days, there weren't even multiple emote options, so why would I even play?
True.
Let's be honest. True. I could do point, or I could do like the stock dance. Who wants that? All right. Wasn't until Taken King came out and I saw that Hunter bow. It was the bow into the sprinkler move. That was the the real selling point for me that I had to get in.
It's a good time. It's a good time for you.
Yes, that was a very good time.
Is that where you started making those videos and Husky Raid decided to stop raiding and start dancing?
It actually, here's another fun fact. Even though I'm like main dude in charge of the YouTube channel now, I wasn't even there for the very first dance video. Most people don't know that. Yeah, the very first dance video that was made, I didn't buy Destiny when it came out because I said it looks stupid and it got really bad reviews and I'm not going to buy that. But all my friends bought it and they were like I had a PlayStation at the time. They all had Xbox. They all bought it on Xbox. I was like, well, even if I did buy it, I can't play with them anyway. Who cares? You know? They played it like most people. They got everything done pretty easily in the beginning, you know? They burnt through all the content, but they still played it every day because there was that magic about Destiny 1 that made you play every day, even when there was literally no reason for you to play.
Magic addiction.
Yeah. It had that quality. And so naturally they got bored and just one day randomly decided to try to make a dance video because two of the other members of the group, we all went to high school together, like everybody in Husky Raid.
Okay.
So two of the other members of the group were in a powder puff cheerleading with me. We were all in it. And it's essentially the roots of our dance videos. We were in show choir and we were in powder puff cheerleading. And if you look up hilariously awesome dance powder puff, you'll find our old powder puff dance videos that have like 2 or 3 million views on YouTube. Like they went mildly viral when we were in high school. So you can see me when I'm like really fat with long hair dancing to like Beyonce songs and stuff. It's interesting now to go back to, but I guess those roots inspired them. Like, let's make something now. Like, we like doing dance stuff. Let's make a dance video in the game. And they decided to try to make that first dance video. And the funnest thing about it is the last take, the one that they ended up using for like the video. They kept not getting any good takes, and they were just like, let's just do one more time. If we don't get it, we just won't make the video. It's fine. So if they hadn't got it on that last take, there would never have been any Husky Raid YouTube channel or more dance videos or Destiny Cops or anything like that, which is pretty wild because they made that first video, posted it, and it went like mildly viral. Kotaku like picked it up and tweeted it, and then it spread from there. And then they were like really pushing me to get an Xbox because they wanted to like make more videos. And at that time I was studying writing. I went to college. I got like a minor in telecom with a focus on script writing, and they were like they pushed me to get the game. I bought an Xbox, got the game, started playing, and at first I was like, and then I got sucked into the addiction just like everybody else. Then we started making more videos, more dance videos, and now here we are. The rest is history, as they say. Whew.
The rest is the movie of the week Hall of Fame, right?
Yes, the rest is our 4 movie of the week wins or honorable mentions. And
Very nice.
And we're still salty about not getting it on 2 of our videos. That's the sad truth. When
I remember there at least being one, and I was like, how did they not get it?
We didn't get it on the very last Saw Something Weird video, and we really thought we would because we pushed nostalgia hard. It was right before D2 came out.
It's a fine line, man.
I know.
It's a fine line you gotta walk.
Know. I think we look at it politically. They wanted to do a movie of the week that was D2 specific because like the TWAB or however you want to pronounce it wouldn't have come out until like after D2 was already out, I think. So it was like they're not going to choose our Destiny 1 video, but come on.
Marketing won.
We know that we won in our hearts.
That's what matters.
The only reason I would have wanted to win is to make, because there was one little bit of it that was Destiny 2, and I was like, maybe that will get me the emblem, because I haven't worn an emblem other than the movie of the week emblem in Destiny 1 in like 2 years. You know, like I feel weird. I feel weird playing Destiny 2 when I don't have that emblem on. It's haunting.
So I got that emblem. And I feel really bad about it. Not for D2, but D1, because I think it was Duba did a video, and I can't remember the exact song he used, but he put out a call and he's like, "Hey, I need clips of your Guardians dancing in different places throughout Destiny 1, different locations." Just like, man, I'd love to. I just did a little clip, my Warlock dancing on the Dreadnought, and it literally is in there for like 2 frames. And he made sure to credit everybody that sent a clip, and Cosmo hit me up after he won. He's like, "Here's your emblem." Boom. I was like, I'm going to wear this. I don't care if I'm ashamed of it or not. I'm going to wear it because none of my friends have it.
Oh, that's the best. Stunting on people who don't have the movie of the week emblem is
absolutely
probably like the best experience in Destiny. When you get that message like, "Whoa, what'd you do to get the movie of the week emblem?" It's like, oh yeah. And then of course you have to send. I was in 2 frames of a video that Duba made, but you know.
Well, then it's even better because they're like, "Oh, you son of a," like, "You did nothing." And I'm like, yes.
Do you know the player Rojo? He's like,
no.
In Destiny 1, he was like one of the top tier Trials players, you know, like he's young. He's a younger kid. He streams a little bit, but I don't think he like streamed a ton of Destiny 1 or anything. But he was like literally like #1 in Trials like rank at one point, I think, on the Xbox. And like we played with him like one time through friends of a friend, and he offered to like get us all flawless if we could get him the movie of the week emblem, and we got him the movie of the week emblem because the Christmas dance video, there was a part where we were all inside of the Cosmodrome and we're trying to film a dance segment there, but ads kept spawning and like shooting us in the middle of the dance because we have no control because it's a PvE area. So like, and we spent like hours just trying to match with each other in there because we're in a patrol area where you can only get like 3 people. We needed like all 9 people in the video. And so what we ended up doing, like we saw he was online and we messaged him if he wanted to help us, and he is in the video for like 1 frame. He's just standing in a spot that will make it so ads don't spawn and attack us. So that's how he got the movie of the week emblem. So,
I need you to stand here.
Yeah, that's literally all it was. We were like, "Hey, are you busy for like 30 minutes? He's like, "I guess." And I was like, "We just need you to literally just stand here and make it so ads don't spawn. Thanks." Like, and that worked.
That's awesome. Well, I want to circle back to Husky Ray because I got a couple questions in a minute, but let's circle back telling people about you. Mm-hmm. What got you into gaming in the first place? Where did your gaming career start?
We open 1993, probably. I don't know. That's a joke.
Let me get some popcorn.
Yeah. You know, rain pours down.
A man walks outside screaming.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like impossible to answer because I've always been gaming. I think my entire life because I have older siblings, like 11 years older than me is my oldest brother, and so growing up, it was like my earliest memories are of playing the regular Nintendo, like playing their games when they would let me take the controller for a little bit. So I'm huge into old retro games. Like that is NES, regular Nintendo is by far, if I could only have one console for the rest of my life, it would be that. And I've been playing NES games since I could hold a controller. The first games I ever remember playing and beating are Super Mario Bros. 3 and Mega Man 3. Mega Man is my favorite franchise now because of that, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, I own so much Mega Man crap. It's a pox on our house. It's a problem. Like I own every like Mega Man game like ever made and tons of Mega Man paraphernalia. My mother-in-law is like buys me Mega Man stuff for Christmas every year. I think she's run out of stuff to get me. Like it's too much. And it was always regular Nintendo, Game Boy when I was a kid. Like I started at where most people's beginning is, you know. I won't say the beginning. I wasn't playing Pong on the Atari or anything, but I was at the regular. I was all about the regular Nintendo, and then
NES is where I started, and that's where a lot of people I know that come on the show as well started around then. We usually have a joke that we can age you based on your first console.
All right.
So when guys start breaking out like Atari 2600, we're like, oh, okay, so you're an older guy. You know,
I played the Magnavox Odyssey. That was my first console.
Right. Right. So yeah, don't feel bad about it starting with NES.
Just,
a lot of guys are.
Hey, any ladies out there? I'm only 26. I'm not that old. All right. I'm also married, so disregard that, ladies.
That was a hand me down from your older siblings.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. I think if I actually gamed what was like would have been appropriate, I would have been more of like a N64 kid. Would probably be my most nostalgic. Which is most people my age. That is what they say. Like they love the N64. I'm a well-established N64 hater, actually, if you want to like cause your viewers to hate me. That's
I'm not a huge fan of that controller.
Exactly. Look, here's all I say. I love a lot of games on the N64, right? Like I love my Mario. I love my Pokemon Stadiums. I love all that. But there's not that many good games, and most of the games, there's a better counterpart on a newer console. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
It's not the same as like NES and SNES, like they don't make a lot of, like, Nintendo doesn't make, like, 2D Metroid games, really, that are good a lot of the time, you know? I guess they just remade, I think, one of the Game Boy ones or something. But, you know, like, there's not a plethora of 2D games still being made, like AAA 2D games. There's a plethora of AAA 3D games, and they're usually better than those early incarnations that existed on the N64 and PlayStation 1.
Yeah, so we got a Switch for Christmas this year. Woo! And then just recently I was able to pick up the SNES Classic.
Oh, nice.
From Amazon.
Nice.
And so I plugged that sucker up. My son's like, he's been playing and learning to play video games for the first time on the Switch. He's about 4 years old, and he's been playing Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, nice.
I'm loving it. And so I hook up the SNES. And he's like, "What is that, Dad?" And I'm like, "It's a Super Nintendo." And he's like, "What? But why do you need that?"
That sounds better than the Switch. It's got Super in the name.
I start showing him the different games and stuff, and I'm like thinking, no brainer, he's gonna love Super Mario Land. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. He plays it a little bit, but then he starts going through, and you know what he got stuck on? Super Mario RPG.
Oh. Interesting.
Arguably the hardest thing a 4-year-old
you would think, like an RPG, that would have been so boring. I can't
figure out why. I think it's because it's somewhat 3D.
Interesting.
And that's what he started learning. And so the 2D stuff, like he figured it out, but it was almost backwards of what you think. You would think the 2D would be like super easy to pick up, but him learning with 2 sticks in 3D, it was the opposite.
He can't regress back to that world.
No, he's like, I don't know. I'm cool. I like 3D better. Spoiled, man.
Oh, that's...
Regrettably, I was not able to snag a NES Classic, which is what I really wanted. Those were really hard to get a hold of, man.
I don't have either, tragically. I would like to own them just for like the kind of the novelty of it. Just to
own it, yeah.
Yeah, but I collected NES games for years. Like at one point I had like 200, 300 NES games, and
wow.
I still have like shelves of like NES accessories and crap like that all around our place. It's
nice.
It's a problem. It really is.
I want to come play at your house.
Yeah. Most people in college, I had like the nerdiest room ever, but it was like the cool, at the same time it was kind of cool, you know. But I have my wife got me for Christmas a couple years ago what's called an AVS. It's made by a guy at like retrousb.com, I think is the website. Don't just type that in randomly. I could be wrong. Disclaimer. But he makes like reproductions of like homebrew games and stuff like that, and games that were never released, like completely out of fresh parts. And he made an NES that is HDMI compatible. And so like I can plug it. I can play my NES games on it, hook it straight up to like a monitor or to a TV, and it plays them at like 480p.
Oh, nice.
Like perfectly accurate, like hardware emulation. And it's really cool because it's got the four controller slots built in for like the few games that even use it. I can only name like one. Smash TV is like the only game I can name off the top of my head where you can even use that. And then it plays the Japanese games too. It's got a slot for Famicom games in it as well,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it's got Game Genie built into it, which is one of the coolest things, I think. If you really want to cheat your way through it. Yeah. So that's why I didn't bother with like the NES, because I was like, I have the games and I can play them on HD TV already. Yeah. But that's definitely one of like, I love that those things exist. I wish that more of the people they were designed for could get them instead of them being bought.
Just expensive adult toys,
yes,
right? Like, why can't kids get a hold of this and play on them?
Because grown men like to buy and scalp them, which is all right then.
Opportunistic.
It's fine. I mean, if you want to do it, I guess that seems like there's probably better ways to spend your time, but okay.
Right. It's like, you see those, I looked at eBay listings, and it would just be like a picture of a tower of NES classics, like 30 of them stacked in a pyramid. I'm like, first of all, how? Second of all, why?
That's as somebody who was like a collector for years, it's almost like a dirty word. Those are resellers. Like,
right.
There's in the collecting forums, there's like, you buy from another collector who has passion for the games and stuff, but they just don't really care about that particular one, or you find resellers who intentionally go out. It's like they paint them like they're villains. It's like they rip off poor innocent shop owners and make them sell games cheap to them and resell them at ludicrous prices. I'm like, well, you guys are buying it, so I think it's working. It's kind of your fault. But yeah, it's always been a funny thing to me, those scalpers, those resellers. I've been guilty of judging them in the past too. So
hey, everybody comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
What so we talked about how you kind of ended up playing Destiny. What did you, beyond Husky Raid and content creation there, you also stream on Twitch?
I do.
Right?
I do stream.
And you're
on
also
Twitch.
On the Planet Destiny podcast. Tell us about those things.
I'll start with the Planet Destiny podcast because it's probably my favorite story of ever being asked to do something, which is Husky Raid gets a DM from Planet Destiny's Twitter right around the time all the other guys like jump ship for the DCP podcast,
Yeah.
We get a DM and it's just like, hey, we're looking for new hosts for the Planet Destiny podcast. Any of you want to do it? And like, that's it. Like, not like nobody in particular asked for, just totally
just throwing out a big net.
Just a big net. Any one of you want to do it? And I'm like, well, I have the most free time right now, so I mean, I'd kind of be interested, I guess. And he's like, cool. And if you can't make it some weeks, just one of you other guys can hop on, whatever.
Wow.
And it's just like, all right then, cool.
Laissez-faire, like, get in here, man.
Just anybody, I guess. Just literally anybody who can talk, get on this podcast. So very fortunate, I guess, that at least I think I'm not completely horrible at talking about stuff. Because what if I was just terrible, Like, what if I just had no ability? Yeah, like, it's just funny to me. And it's
lucky for them, right?
Yeah. It's weird to me, the Planet Destiny podcast, because like all those guys that I do that with are now like close friends, but I had never spoken to any of them before the first day we went live on that podcast together.
That's awesome.
I talked to Fallout every single day of my life, and I didn't even know who he was before we go live.
He's your buddy.
He is.
Right? You guys
he's the first. He's the first person I told we were having a baby, but I didn't even know who he was when we went live on that show together.
Which, congratulations, and by the way, she's like due any day now.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like
my worry was like y'all are gonna have the baby today.
That's my worry every day. The first thing I think when I wake up is, oh God, what if today is the day? Yeah, that's it's very.
I'm just waiting for, in the background, I'm just gonna hear, honey.
Yeah. I will not.
I'll figure out the show.
Yeah, you'll figure out the show, and you'll probably have to bleep out some expletives after.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah. It's gonna be.
But
something.
Do you guys know what you're having?
We are having a girl.
A
little
That's
baby
awesome,
girl.
Man.
I am very excited. I was hoping for a girl.
That's unique.
I know, right? You think guy hoping for a guy, but what I find is I don't have a lot of traditionally masculine interests, and I'm like, I feel like I could bond easier with a little girl. I don't know why. I'm just like, I'm into dancing and singing and stuff like that, and
And it's fun. It's fun to have it both, though. But girls are their own unique type of fun for a father as well.
I'm a very okay. You go.
No, I was just gonna say. So we just had a girl last year, and it's so much fun already. But I can't wait till she's a little bigger and she just is into girly stuff, and I get to be a father to a girl. And I've had a son for a while now too, and experienced that. I think it's both really valuable.
I think it might be where I'm gonna get raw real quick. I was mostly raised by like my mom and my I mostly grew up with just my mom and my sister, so I feel like I'm just like,
you relate well to women.
Yes, it's easier. I don't know. It's easier in my mind to imagine a relationship with a daughter than a son. I'm like terrified I'm gonna get like. I could have a super jock daughter. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm terrified of having like a son, and I have to like go to football games and act like I know anything about football. I'm just like, I would just.
If it makes
lost.
you feel any better, I was a huge nerd growing up. Like I tried to play sports, but I was not good at any sports. And my son, I think he could have potential to be a little nerdy, but he's got some natural athletic talent. So I'm already having to, figure out, all right, how am I going to get this kid into some sports he likes? And then at what point does my ability to teach him stuff end? It's going to be pretty quick. Like, all right, I can teach you how to throw and catch the ball, but when we get to batting practice, we're going to have to call in a pro. Like, Daddy's not going to be much help. So, and then I got somehow wrangled into, apparently I'm co-coaching T-ball this year. I don't know how that's going to go, but we're just going to roll with it.
All right.
But I'm terrified. I'm just going to figure it out as we go.
I'm excited for you because, I would watch your nerdy self try to teach kids how to play T-ball. At least it's T-ball. I mean, it's not like it's, the ball doesn't even move. How hard can it be to,
I can teach them, okay, this is first base. This is second base. Like, run around in these bases. Like, I think that's as much as I need to teach
You've got
them.
the basics. Okay.
I can fake it till I make it with T-ball.
Yeah.
I think.
It's not like any of these kids are going to call you out on it anyway. What do they know?
Not at all.
Exactly. It's like they're going to grow up and have completely backwards rules on baseball in their minds. Like they taught them so wrong. That's not how coach used to teach us.
Sorry, son. That's not third base. You're on first base right now.
I got it backwards. My bad.
I was taught this since I was 4.
Oh goodness.
Well. Anyways, so Planet Destiny podcast. You've been doing that, man. I want to say like 50 plus episodes you've been on right now, right?
I think we've done a little over 60 together, maybe pushing up on 70. It's hard to keep track.
I remember when it changed over. It was before episode 100 or 200 or something.
Yeah, it was definitely before.
It was right
100.
before a big number.
Yeah, I think it was like episode 90 might have been their last one together.
Okay,
and then we came in and we're on like We're in the upper
152,
one.
I think.
Yeah, you know better than me. I only know every week because I check the I check the Twitch name.
I'm right there with you. Like, I just know because it's an title on my show notes. I'm like, oh, okay, we're at 134 now.
All
cool.
right, good job, us. We did it.
Right,
we made
right.
it.
But if somebody asked you, I was like, I don't know, somewhere over 100.
Yeah, exactly. After 100, until you hit 200, it's like, what do we even?
Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah,
who cares anymore?
It's like every birthday after 21. Who cares? You know, you hit the
exactly.
When you hit the milestones, those are important. Like 30.
After
40,
that, it's just 30, 40,
exactly.
50. Yep.
And
so you do some live streaming as well.
Yes.
Tell me about what your streams are like.
My streams are very chat interaction focused, I would say, because I'm not good at anything in video games, like in modern games at least. So my streams started because Husky Raid, we wanted to make more videos, but nobody else had time for a while to make like anything. And I was like, well, I still have time to do stuff, so I'm going to stream every day. That was my plan. I was like, I'm going to try out streaming. So I started streaming on YouTube, which if you stream on YouTube, God bless you, because I can't do it. I don't care for the audience on YouTube a lot of the time. It gets a little harder to control the chat. But so I started doing multi streams on both Twitch and YouTube around that time on the Husky Raid channel, and eventually just kind of fell in love with it. And it's basically, my atmosphere is very like chill, kind of. If I'm playing Destiny, I'll do like PvP, just queuing in. Anybody can like join me if they want, but I don't really like chat actively with anybody else other than me and the chat, like together talking to them, you know. Lately a lot of Fortnite and stuff, but I streamed on the Husky Raid account for, I want to say, like 6 months, and then realized I was the only one streaming on the Husky Raid account, and I was like, well, I'm kind of gaining decent traction on Twitch now, and I don't want to be like, I don't want people to think that Husky Raid is just me, and I don't want people, when they see me, to just think Husky Raid, you know? Like, I want an identity outside of Husky Raid when it comes to streaming. So I made the decision to switch over to my own channel now, MegaMagwitch, and I've been streaming there since, like, July, I think. And so far, things are pretty good. Oh, I just realized, you know, I started streaming regularly in February of last year, so we're at like 1 year. So good for me.
Hey, congrats.
Thanks. Just looked at the calendar right now. I'm like, oh, hey, look at that. But yeah, the
time flies.
Doing a lot of Fortnite lately. Usually try to at least get in Destiny once or twice a week right now. But it's harder to solo queue in D2 PvP than it was in D1 PvP. So it kind of breaks up my flow on stream a little bit. But yeah, it's very much like come, hang out, chat about whatever, try to be goofy, try to have fun. That's all I want, is for people to have fun, you know? And if I can occasionally make a play that isn't terrible, that's just a bonus. It's just a bonus for me.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
If you get lucky one night, have a good night. Doesn't hurt.
No, I'm decent. I'm much better at Fortnite than I am at Destiny, tragically. I wish I was nearly as good at Destiny. Like, Fortnite, I can at least consistently get kills, outplay people, I've got a few wins, you know, I've got like 60, 70 wins or whatever in Fortnite across like all the different game modes. Yeah, and I'm considering most of them are solos, I'm like, that's not too terrible, I don't think. It's at least entertaining enough. It's a little above average. Destiny, I'm a little below average. Fortnite, I'm maybe a little above average. That's how I like to think of it. But yeah.
Hey, I'm right there with you, buddy.
I mean, yeah. My Destiny 1 streaming experience all started really because of playing with the Fun Police.
Mm-hmm.
We had him cameo in a video in a Destiny Cops episode, because we're like, you're the Fun Police, we're the cops. There's clearly a link here. We should capitalize on that, you know? Yeah. But he was like, we should play together sometime. So like, I started playing with him when he was like early in his streaming career. Before he got partnered, like way back, like, I don't know, Halloween a few years ago, 2 years ago maybe. And I was so bad at Destiny that it literally took us over like 16 hours across 2 different streams for him to get me flawless once. Like, we streamed, he would be like, come on, let's play at like, I don't know, like 8 my time, 8 p.m. And then I'd be up until like 8 a.m. playing with him before he would give up and be like, we have to go to sleep. Fine. Like, I'm legendarily terrible at Destiny. Fallout would tell you the same thing if he were here, because he got me flawless for the first time ever on Xbox. And like, we had to do it off stream because I was so bad. He didn't like, it was like not working on stream to play with me. I didn't know anything when I used to play Destiny. For me, before doing any streaming or any podcasting, you know, outside of making videos, it was the run strikes while I watched TV game. Like, that's what I did. I just ran strikes, and if I went into PvP, it was like me and my Zalo Supercell. Like, just awful gun.
Hey,
like,
don't look down on Zalo.
I love Zalo. Zalo's like my favorite
awesome
gun, but it's not a PvP destroyer. Let's just...
It's not the best choice.
No. I refused to use hand cannons for like over a year in Destiny because I just didn't like how they fired in PvP. I was like,
I didn't use them much, period. I was definitely against the grain on that. Probably not the best choice, but I was more of a pulse guy.
Pulse rifles are, I mean,
in PvP.
Hey man, Grasp of Malak had its time, and Clever Dragon, like that era, that was a good time. I like that era. People did not like the Clever Dragon, but you know, I liked it. I don't care. I'm taking it back. All you people who were complaining 2 years ago about the recoil on Clever Dragon, get over it. All right, get over it.
We all made it through. You know, we're all okay.
It's fine.
It's fine now. Well, in Destiny 2, what is your favorite class? What have you been playing?
I don't like answering this because my favorite class has always been Hunter, and Night Stalker has always been the thing that I've played since it came out. Like, always, you know? But now, Night Stalker's like a dirty word in Destiny 2. It's like the try-hard, like, people judge you for using Night Stalker, team stacked of Night Stalkers, you know? And it's like, I'm sorry, but that's just what I play. It's what I'm used to. I'm a man of habits, and that's what I've always done.
You get the same flack for playing Stormcaller, you know?
Oh, yeah, see? Like,
so
you get flack no matter what, really.
Yeah,
unless you're like... What do people want? I play on an unleveled Titan with all mobility gear. Like, I don't know. Like, what?
No jump. No melee.
Yeah. Just... Like, that's the only way you could get someone's respect when you beat them. Right. Anything other than that, you were spamming nades the whole time on your striker. You just rely on suppressing people because you're not good. Your melee's broken on your warlock. Like, there's no winning with people when it comes to Destiny, really. But I've always been... And I will always be a Night Stalker main with a little bit of Titan thrown in. I've never really been into Warlocks.
I think it takes a special breed to be into Warlocks. And complete honesty, so I identify as I've always been a Warlock.
I like that you say I identify.
I self-identify as a Warlock. But you know, externally, I might be a Titan, you know.
I gotcha.
I've played Titan the most in Destiny 2, I think, just because I have the most fun with it.
Yes.
Playing Striker Titan just is an absolute blast in PvP. Like, just the way that they added the roaming function to it is just a lot of fun for me. But I still collect, like, in my vault, 90% of the stuff is Warlock stuff. Like, that's who I play dress up as. You know what I mean?
I got you. So. Yeah. My Twitch chat all thought that I was a Titan main because, like, when I streamed a lot, it was toward the end of Destiny 1, and I was like, I just need something new to do. So I played a lot of Striker because I'd never played it, like, period. I just had never played Striker. And I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun playing, like, something different, you know? And
it's different.
Yeah,
I was doing that with Hunter. I literally had never played a Hunter in Destiny 1 until Rise of Iron.
Wow.
I had 2 Warlocks and a Titan.
Wow.
To be honest, for probably the first 2 years, I had 3 Warlocks.
And
then
it sounds crazy now, players, but it made sense.
No, that was the way to go back then.
If you wanted to level up, power level, that was the way to do it.
Yeah. Yep, you just had to run the raid 3 times and 3 same characters. But yeah, so eventually I rolled a hunter and started playing that, and I had a lot of fun. I was like, really felt like dumb. I was like, why didn't I just bite the bullet and do this a lot sooner? But
okay,
I got to experience something new in Destiny 1 for the first time at a time when other people
were super against.
Had
they had worn everything out. Yeah.
So I was like experiencing everything through new eyes 3 years into the game. So it was kind of a double-edged thing for me, but it was a lot of fun.
I'm with you there. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people were burnt out on Destiny 1 by the end of it. Like pretty much everybody I knew was like so over it and ready. Right. They hated it, like the way the sandbox was and everything.
They're just weary. People got weary.
They got weary. But I'm with you because there were so many things that I never played because I was just like, I'm just going to run my strikes and watch my TV shows all the time, That's what I do. Yeah. That's how I level up. That's fun. And occasionally raid. So like, playing I played like Sunsinger for the first time ever, like the last like month of Destiny 1. Like, oh wow, there was so much stuff that I just never had done, and I was like, all right, well, I'm still having fun trying out new things, learning new things. Like I like the first time I got the Titan skate I'm like you, it wasn't probably until Rise of Iron, and I was like, wow, this is great, because I actually I couldn't level up a Striker Titan in Destiny 1 until I want to say until like around Rise of Iron, around whenever the sword glitch for the camera got added in, because the way we used to film, there was we used to do deleting a weapon in orbit method. They patched that out, and when they patched that out, they did add in no HUD mode at least. So what we would do to record for a little bit was we, if you had Zalo Supercell, again, my favorite gun, if you waited, and I'm the one who found this because I use Zalo so much, if you waited long enough for your gun to get put down, Zalo basically took up like 1/20th of the screen at the bottom when your gun got put
so
down.
You had to crop a lot.
Yeah, so we just crop a little bit of the screen out down there. And to make sure there's no super bar on the screen and stuff when like before there was no HUD mode and crap like that, basically you didn't level up a subclass, so you wouldn't have a super bar. So it was like one less thing on the screen filling up. So when
these are some of the questions I had, like the behind the scenes, like how did you do this?
Yeah. So the method to keep the screen less cluttered was everybody had at least one subclass basically that was not leveled up, so that if you wanted to film on their account, you got on that character and you switch to that thing that didn't have a super, so there wouldn't be like this little flickering in the bottom of the screen that would annoy you like when you're watching as a viewer. So there it is. Yeah, so people would be like, you never had a Striker Titan? I'm like, you know how you watch these videos? Well, that's why I didn't, so you're welcome. Like,
I did it for you.
I suffered for you. I wanted to play Striker. I wanted to so badly.
I watched longingly as people
I just sat on
across the map.
I sat on Ninja with Noel's stream and I just patted my screen and thought about the Titan skating. That's all I wanted.
Curse the shapes vainly.
Yeah, so
that's great. Well, another question I had about that, just like in producing these videos, is like, how do you guys just put on the music and then just go out and like choreograph it, and you're like, yeah, and then we could do this here, and then you just run through it a bunch of times? Or how do you get it the way the final product, like, so how does it get there?
It's kind of like what you said, only spread that out over like multiple days. Usually, so Boisterous Biddy is the guy who usually puts the song mixes together. Like, we'll talk about song ideas that we have. He'll put together a song mix and he'll come up with like a list of like rough ideas for things that can go along with the song first. And then what we do is we'll have like the very first day when we all gather, basically like the main members is like, maybe not even all of us, like 2 of us, 3 of us, whatever. We'll go into whatever areas we know we want to film in, because we'll figure out locations ahead of time and all that for stuff. We'll go to those areas and we will do what you said, essentially. We'll listen to the song a bunch of times and we'll come up with like choreography ideas together that day. So it's like we will have like a sheet that has like written out like, okay, at this part of the song is when we have the 6 reindeers come out, you know, and like we'll figure out like little things to go in between and stuff like that as best we can. And then when it comes time to actually record it, usually I want to say it usually takes the first day that we all gather, like everybody who's in the video, usually isn't a day that we get anything recorded that's that usable. It's like teaching everybody kind of what they're going to do, you know, is how it can go sometimes. So it'd be like, because a lot of times
you're doing dance practice.
Yeah, dance practice is what it is, really. And a lot of the times it's like just friends that have no real experience with like video making and stuff like that, but they know how to play Destiny. And so you just got to like relate it in terms of Destiny to them, you know, like, and so what happens is the cameraman, Voice Spitty, he plays the music really loudly into his microphone, and the rest of us are just all in the party, and it's like you just don't talk when the music's playing, and you listen, and it's just like we're all in sync with what's coming through his microphone, and he's the only one who can tell if what we're doing is good. So ultimately, it all comes down to him.
It's up to the director,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. There'll be times where we're like positive, like, come on, that had to be it. And he's like, nope, we got to do it again. And like, he'll make us like run it over and over again. It's literally, I always tell people, like, it's not skill, it's patience more than anything on the videos.
That's what I imagine.
Yeah.
It's got to take a lot of time.
I want to say Christmas Dance was probably the longest one. I want to say it was at least like, probably like 7 or 8 hours for like the snowy area at the beginning of the Christmas Dance that we did.
Wow.
And that was like the smaller part of the dance when it came to that. The hardest part there was all getting matched together. Like that was really hard. And we use we rely on glitches a lot of the time that can be kind of finicky. Like that video starts with or the dance segment starts with somebody like dancing on their sparrow, and like 80% of the time they just won't show up as dancing when you do the glitch. Like it'll show up on the person who did the glitch's screen that they're dancing, but not for the cameraman. It just, so like we'll have to basically for that section, for that video, it was such a crapshoot if the cameraman would be able to see the person dancing on their sparrow, like driving it, that we made it so like everybody tried to do the glitch, and just whoever got the glitch, they were the person who started the video on that take. Like whoever the cameraman could see. So we would just swap out who was doing what part, like on the fly. Like, okay, he can see you dancing. All right, I'll take your part for this next section. You guys, like, you go do the sparrow part backwards, and like we would just flop it around like that. And then the next part of the video, though, the part on the moon, took probably 2 separate days of like, I'd say combined it was probably like 16 hours for that moon part. Like, because that part had a full fire team of like of 12 guardians, basically, all inside of the all in the fire team, all working together. We had to like use Discord because Xbox Party Chat couldn't handle it. And it was such a cluttered mess getting everybody like lined up, everybody working all together. Like it took so long to get that one right. Like there's no real tricks to it a lot of the time. Like you can tell when there's cuts. Like if anytime the cameraman gets hit by a warlock, that's a camera cut. Easy. Like that's a cut. That's guaranteed cut. We're cutting to a new spot. But like most of the time it's just we ran it like 100 times until we managed to get it to work the right way. And like to make it easier, we've gotten like better at it as we go. To make it easier, after we do like practice sessions and come up with the moves, we'll like he'll record himself basically saying when to do the move, so it takes some of the guesswork out of the rhythm, you know? It'll be like Nova, like over the track that's playing, like we'll hear that, so that people know when to throw their supers and stuff. But yeah, it's a pain. But some of the times random glitches and crap like that we didn't expect will happen while we're doing it. And like we'll just run with those a lot of the time too. Like we'll add in stuff on the fly if stuff isn't working, or like in the very last dance video, the Saw Something Weird in Destiny 1 video, there's a part on the Dreadnought during the tomb ships where totally the weirdest glitch any of us have ever seen. It probably looks like we added it in editing, but a warlock just rises up out of the ground for no reason. Like just their character model just rises up, and it happened perfectly on like an upward sweep in the music. And we were like, there's no way that we're not getting that into the video.
What y'all did to do that?
Yeah, it was.
Like,
we don't know either.
That now, and I was like,
we don't know either.
How do they pull that off?
It was totally luck. And
That's funny.
We wanted it in the video so badly that there's actually that's like an outtake bad take, and there's actually a cut from the good take into that
get it in.
Yeah, as the camera's like turning across the screen, he did a cut on there, and you can only tell really if you look for it because there's like a Titan in the bottom corner that just like disappears all of a sudden as he's moving across. So there you go. Keep your eyes for that if you're out there rewatching dance videos. But yeah, they're just hours and hours
behind the
of
scenes scoops.
Horrific nightmares is what they are. Just it takes us. The reason why we only do one like every 6 months is because we just hate it. Like we love the finished product, but it's so miserable to do it.
Sounds like a ton of work.
It's so stupid. It's so not. I don't know if it's not worth it, but it's like we gain nothing out of it other than just like fun, and like that's really why we do it. Is just they're fun for us. Like I've probably watched every video more than anybody else because like.
Well, you're proud of it.
And
you see the finished product.
Exactly.
Right?
You want to make content that you would enjoy watching is what I always tell people, and those are the greatest example of that for me. Is like my main motivation to want to make another dance video is like I want to watch another dance video, so let's do another dance video. That's
absolutely. I was funny. I was just a little while ago. One of y'all's new hosts, is it Moonvald?
Yeah,
Moonvald.
Moonvald. Yeah.
Moonvald, she put up a dance video, and I was watching it and cracking up using the new emote, the single ladies emote. It's like,
it's a pretty good video.
Definite.
I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched it. I gave her some pro tip feedback on it.
Some pro tips.
Yeah, I was like, first of all,
so
why didn't you message me?
Authority on Destiny.
I was gonna say,
videos.
Can you believe that she didn't ask me for any tips or advice before making the video? I mean, come on. We talk every week, Moon. It's the one thing I know anything about, like more so than other people. I have confidence in one aspect of my life, and it is that. All right, it's fine. I'm over it. I'm not upset about it.
Rant complete. Well, all right. We have one question before we actually start the show here. That it's the most important question that everybody needs to know that's listening. And it is, in your opinion, does pineapple belong on pizza?
As long as it's not my pizza. All right. If you want to, you can put whatever you want, I guess, on your pizza within reason, but a pizza is something you share usually. So why would you want to alienate yourself from other people by putting a weird, disgusting ingredient on it like pineapple?
I knew I liked you. I liked you for a reason. It's the texture, man. It's the texture that I can't deal with.
I worked in a pizza place for years, and I tell you, it's not right. Okay, it just ain't right. But no,
you're making the pizzas, you're pulling out all these great toppings, and you gotta reach in a slimy tray of wet fruit.
I've never been a pineapple guy really on its own even that much. So like I'll eat a nice fresh pineapple slice every now and then. It's pretty good, but it's not like I want this on top of my perfect food item, like
right.
It's not bacon, all right?
It's like I eat a lot of chocolate.
Yeah.
But I don't want chocolate on my chicken.
Yeah.
Let's not ruin a good thing.
Exactly.
Here.
Some things just don't belong together, and that's fine. They can be beautiful on their own, all right?
Absolutely. Well, now that everybody's gotten a great chance to get to know you, let's talk a little bit of Destiny.
Let's do that. Yes.
Let's do it.
That is a game that exists.
We've got some news this week. You remember that game? Remember Destiny? Destiny 2. Let's talk news real quick. We're going to bring up, as always, we'll take you through this week at Bungie. They invited us to celebrate Crimson Days.
Woo!
I was really happy to see Crimson Days return. How about you, man?
I was pretty happy because I never really got to play Crimson Doubles the first time around.
Oh man, it was so much fun.
Yeah, I think I just wasn't really in my PvP phase at that time, and the thought of doubles was like off-putting to me. It seemed like there's a lot of pressure on me to perform in a doubles. And when it's 6v6, nobody notices Mega in the corner accidentally nading himself, but 2v2,
right.
Whoa, that's half of it's on me, man. Yeah. But yeah.
Have you done some doubles this week?
I have done doubles this week. I liked it. And I was playing with randoms, and I still liked it. So I can only imagine it's way better if you play with an actual teammate that is competent, and is working with you.
Yeah,
I really like the changes, the changes to how fast your stuff builds. It's a lot of fun. It's maybe a little too fast to be like what you would want all the time. Just a touch too fast.
Similar to Mayhem, you can get a ton of fun out of it, but you don't want that every day.
It's
I don't think.
No, it's the pizza for dinner every day, you love it, but
too much of a good
need
thing.
a little. Sometimes you need a salad. All right.
Just saying.
Yeah, I definitely need one. Yeah, I'm still hoping to play more of it. I only got to play I played for, I want to say 2 or 3 hours. That's all I've had time to play.
Yeah,
recently.
For the record, we're recording this early in the week. It's Thursday. I'm about to say I'm probably about 3 hours of games so far. So I'm planning to hop in a lot more this weekend. But I had good results both with a teammate and just matchmaking. I had some really good games with a few guys last night, just solo queuing. And did surprisingly well. And then I had some really bad ones. The first night I just solo queued, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is so bad. Because I think people were just not getting the idea.
Yeah, because
stick together.
I think one thing that we all have to remember is that there's probably a ton of players who have never opened up a This Week at Bungie and don't really read what is happening, and they just don't.
There's millions, dude.
They had no idea that there's a buff when you stand by each other. And I'm going to be honest, I was behind on things, and I was like, oh, there's a buff when you're by each other? I didn't realize until my chat was like, yeah, you idiot. It was in the TWAB. I was like, I read it on stream, I'm pretty sure, the TWAB, and I still did not remember that was in there.
Sometimes stuff I literally read the TWAB every week on the show, and there's stuff that flies over my head. Case in point, for some reason I thought the Crimson engrams only come from leveling up, and it was just the way that I read the article in Crimson Days, and it just says you can only get them through gameplay, and you can get them from leveling up. And so my friends are like, man, I got 6 engrams last night playing. I'm like, well, you must just be leveling up fast.
You leveled up 6 times?
Good RNG. They're like, no, you idiot. I get them at the end of the match. I'm like, what? How? So confused. I went back and read it. I was like, okay. So then I ended up getting some post-match, and I was like, yay. So having a good time, though, myself this week playing. I've got some criticisms on the mode, but nothing crazy. We'll talk about that soon. But let's push forward with the news.
Push forward. Do it. Yes.
Got to keep moving. Next week, Faction Rallies returns. I feel like we just did that because we've had so many events.
Yeah.
We went Faction Rally to Iron Banner to Crimson Doubles, now back to Faction Rallies.
And this one's going to be worth doing, right? Unlike the first one, really.
I think so.
There was only one gun, so it was I'll just pledge and then I'll just buy it, I guess.
Well, that, and there was the issue still going on with the Lost Sector.
Oh, that was solved. That was hitting a nail in with a sledgehammer or something. I don't know. Yeah.
So that's all in the past. Now they've fixed that, as we talked about in the last couple weeks. basically you can't cheese the lost sectors anymore, but as long as you can kill the boss, there's no timers. You can still open that chest,
which is good. That's the way. Things like that you should stop people from cheesing them, but not impede regular gameplay.
Right. And they had some trouble with that, but I'm glad they were able to solve it properly.
Yes, agreed.
And to be honest, like I wish Bungie has this habit of doing things like that when in reality it doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Like, let's be frank. Yeah, like the week that we had that, I definitely did my fair share of cheesing to get the stuff, but did it hurt anybody?
No,
not really. And so putting in a half measure that just makes it less fun ends up creating a poor player experience for people. And then what happened? Like, I had a lot of friends who were just really aggravated about faction rallies last week and had a bad time when they should have just left well enough alone. I don't know. I don't totally get why they care so much sometimes about that stuff.
I'm with you. I definitely don't I guess if they're really concerned about, like, if they want the events to be something that keeps player engagement up, and so if people are farming for it and then they're not engaged anyway, but I guess I would just say, like, if people don't want to play to the point like where they would just rather just farm their tokens and then they're not going to play at all in the week, there's probably a bigger issue. There's
something else.
It's the solution isn't just to make it so I can't farm things. The solution is to make it so I want to play instead of farming things.
Exactly. And part of that is like having the token economy work well enough so that you want to play the stuff to get the tokens and you feel like you get enough.
Yes.
So I think they've continued to work on that, and then adding the ability to directly purchase some of this stuff makes you feel a lot better because you can get it with tokens and I think legendary shards,
legendary shards.
Yeah, so faction rallies are back. If you haven't gotten your armor or any of the weapons or finished off your ornament collections, this is a great time to do it. They've got some new weapons, one for each faction that's going to be in the loot pool, as well as the guns that were awards last rally will be in the loot pool. So that's great. And then it looks like, 3 new ones available for the winning faction to choose from. We got a Future War Cult Scout, Dead Orbit Pulse, and a New Monarchy Pulse. So let's see who wins on top this time. What faction do you roll with, my dog?
I have always been and always will at heart be a Dead Orbit man.
I knew you were gonna say Dead Orbit.
I'm sorry, I'm one of those kids, but
that's all right.
Ideologically, I actually do think that their idea would sync up with my own if I were really living in that tower. And I wouldn't want to be there. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to be anywhere near this thing. So you
would just be like, let's roll out of Earth.
Yeah,
Earth is
absolutely.
done.
Absolutely. What do I care about this dead rock? It's already dead, all right? Dead rock filled with monsters, and there's this giant thing that already tried to leave us that is just calling more crap to come kill us. I'm good. I'm done. I'm out, all right? Forget this.
Fair enough, man.
Forget this.
Hey, we could talk trash on Dead Orbit all we want, but they got that big fleet that's helped us out a bunch of times.
It has helped. Exactly. It's not like they just want to leave and say screw everybody. They're sticking around to try to get.
That's their ideology, but they're still here.
Yeah. Yes.
They're still there.
And I'm not like, they all have flaws. I mean, that's the point.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no perfect choice. No. If there was, then everybody would just go with that.
Exactly. New Monarchy is. It's so close. It's so pretty and so beautiful. Yet, I just don't know if I trust that key word
flawed.
Monarchy.
That whole monarchy thing.
It's so good on the surface, though. It looks so shiny and nice on the surface.
It does. Well, that's what's funny about the idea of autocracy is, of course, it would be ideal if we could just have a perfect person that would just make everything better for us.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work out a lot of the time.
Unfortunately. And I don't even know what's going on with Future War Cult. They like worship a machine that like tells you when we're gonna have war or something.
They're way out there, man.
I don't know.
They're just
somebody ate some random garbage from the Cosmodrome. I don't know, and it's somebody has had one too many ether seeds, and it's really messing with their brain. I don't know. I'm just letting it go, man. Yeah.
Yep. We'll just let them do them. Like, guys, you're cool. Y'all just, play with your time machine, and as long as you don't cause any trouble, we'll be cool.
They do have the nicest lounge. I'll give them that.
They do, man.
It's rough being Dead Orbit. We get like 2 canvas tents like in the middle of the hangar.
Right.
It's like, okay. And then freaking Future War Cold is up there with like
they get their Men in Black.
Yeah, exactly. They look
lounge with the chairs. Like some kind of royal, throne room or something.
It's ridiculous how much better off they have it. Oh,
Lakshmi must have some pull in the tower, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, next up in the TWAB, we've got an update from John Wisniewski on sandbox changes. He's talking about the exotic tuning pass, and he actually tweeted the day before. Interesting tweet he threw out about. Let me pull it up real quick because I closed that window. But they were talking about. What's the name of that pulse?
Graviton Lance
and Skyburner's Annex. He said some insane gunfights between Skyburner and Graviton in today's exotic update PvP playtest. And the Mesa Sean had commented, he was like, increase in the Graviton's explosion from the cosmology perk. John replied, increased is one way to put it. This gun was one that I was like, the concept.
It's one of my really cool favorite. When D2 first dropped, it was immediately like one of my favorite guns. Like,
I think that was the first one I might have picked out of. I think you can get that as one of like the three.
It was Sunshot
choices.
It was Sunshot, Risk Runner, and Graviton Lance. And I think most people probably picked Graviton Lance because it was new. The other ones were in the beta.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it looked really cool.
Yeah.
And it sounded awesome.
Oh, yeah.
In theory. But it fell flat. So, queuing up, they're talking a little bit about Graviton Lance. John Wisniewski mentions they were inundated with a mountain of player feedback after release that allowed them to do some tuning, push out a first sandbox update with exotics, and now they're doing another run. And they mentioned their gameplay goals for this pass. Tuning pass on exotic gear focused on adding and or increasing player power spikes. Sounds cool. Mm-hmm. Focus on low usage items, but all items are being considered. And then lean into an item's established gameplay and push it harder. Avoid catch-all improvements that dilute item identity. I love everything I'm hearing here. This sounds really fun. So they bring Graviton Lance as an example, and I don't want to read this whole thing, but this is a really interesting look behind how they
the thought process,
the concept, the entire thought process that goes into this gun. I was like, wow, they like really think this through. Mm-hmm. Like the concept of what the weapon is. Like I didn't even understand all this.
It's like
but now I do.
Yeah, it's like it fires 2 bullets that create the space for like the black hole shot or whatever. Like it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
I think it's really cool that they come with these concepts initially of like, this is what the gun is supposed to be in the universe, and then this is its function. Like here's its perk, and this is what it does. It's really cool how much they put into these weapons. So their point is, the feedback has been that it looks great, sounds great, neat explosion. I can't get kills in PvP because all the damage is at the end of the burst, kicks too hard for the follow-up, and I can't reliably damage targets with the death explosion in any activity because the body goes flying too far backwards. So what they mentioned they're going to do is reducing the recoil of the burst, adding aim assist, changing it from 3 rounds to 2.
That's interesting
which
to
is
me. That's
really strange for a pulse.
Yeah, a 2-shot pulse.
Yeah, this is almost, I don't even know what to compare it to. I'm gonna have to see this.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I know, right? I was like, as soon as they said that, I just tried to like picture it in my mind playing. I'm so used to that, like, like when I fire a pulse. Yeah, so
that old battle rifle feel.
Is that what it's gonna sound like now?
I think that's the audio cue right there.
Just take that. Yeah, just
I'll send them that clip.
Please do.
So they also mentioned it also allows them to ensure the damage per burst is at a competitive level. Mm-hmm. In fact, it gives Graviton a slight mathematical edge against other pulse rifles.
Which is really interesting if they're talking like against other pulse rifles at range, because the last shot doesn't have damage fall off already, right? So like it will really put it in like the optimal class for pulses. Yeah. Like, yeah.
Feel like they're tuning this thing to be the new hotness.
It's like they're making an exotic feel special. Exotic. What is this?
So then they're going to change the tuning to the ragdoll body, as they call it, when the explosion happens, so that it is more predictable. They're going to make it so that I think it floats back and up. Make the explosion bigger, increase the damage, and add some void field projectiles that seek out remaining targets. This thing just
really
sounded nasty.
I know, right? It's like every single thing sounds like, okay, so this is the only gun I need now, right? Like,
yeah, so we're just gonna roll that, and what legendary should I keep with it? So then they mentioned at the time of this writing, the weapons that are not getting an update are Merciless, Telesto, Wardcliff Coil, Mida Multitool, Colony, Legend of Acreus, and Vigilance Wing. Some of the above perform well without needing changes, while others, like Vigilance Wing, are already benefiting from the tuning changes planned for update 1.1.4. Yeah. So it sounds like we're going to get some pulse.
Yeah. Generic pulse improvements, which is cool.
You know, those old D1 just buff it 10%.
Yeah.
Wait, we mean 0.001%.
Classic Destiny comedy, folks.
I
like everything he said, though. I like that they specifically... I just love the communication to get from them. That they don't let me be like, wow, you're not going to buff Vigilance Wing? That seems weird. Instead, they tell me why they're not. Like, thank you. I now know. Like, that's good. I want that information.
I'm beginning to depend on this section of the TWAB every week. I'm like, we got something cool to look forward this week. I'm assuming that they're going to drop us just a little more behind the scenes. And this is really fun to read, and it really does help give us kind of a preview of what to expect and stuff to be excited for, and help us understand, you know, what their goals and ideas are behind what they're doing. And it's just great. It's just great. I love it.
I do too.
Absolutely. Well, as people that just constantly obsess about Destiny no matter what, just, you know, just a little trickle of info
something to obsess over makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always something new. It's great. It's better than the dead air that we've experienced at some time. You know, I mean, that's just painful. So again, our feedback is keep it coming. Please keep it coming. And then they brought up one thing I didn't know that they're putting clarification on is the Burnout Crucible map, which I thought has been really cool and people are really excited about. It's not leaving with Crimson Days. It will be in the existing maps in rotation after the event, which is awesome.
Ooh.
Have you played the map yet?
Tragically, I have not gotten it, but
I only got it just last night.
I'm so in favor of it, so I'm fine.
It's really different without that sun.
Oh yeah.
On
you mean I can't?
Backside.
You mean I can't just do my old Trials technique of everybody put on the Midas shader and stand in the sun so you're like invisible and just hang back there?
You cannot, sir.
Oh darn!
You cannot. And then there's like rubble everywhere that kind of makes it just a little bit different. Like just little elements of the stuff has been turned to rubble and stuff. So it's just a little different everywhere you go. And but it's still, you know, functionally it works the same. But it's real pretty. And it's, you know, it's the most played Trials map ever. So you got to have some memories there.
Oh yeah. Everybody does.
Yeah. So we've got that. And then, they mentioned some other stuff about sparrows and like, the hot fix on Lost Sector rewards, in case you missed that. That came this week. That was 1.1.2.1, and it just removed timers on Lost Sector rewards and adjusted Lost Sector chest behavior to only open once per boss defeated.
Perfect.
So there we go. And then your favorite section.
This is actually my least
movie of the week.
Actually, my least favorite section this week because my good friend Destiny Fun, Destiny Fun Police. He got the movie of the week, and win. He immediately like messaged me like, look who got movie of the week first this time. Like immediately started trash talking me about it. Luckily, I mean, I pointed out to him, you know, after you've made like 100 Destiny 2 videos, they'll give it to you out of pity. We're going to just slide in there on like the first dance video and grab it. You know, it won't even be a contest, really.
Just got to play it down a little bit.
Exactly.
Like, you know, this is your chance. I had to give it to you.
Exactly. Exactly. He's catching up. I mean, I think that finally puts him at 4 wins, maybe, you know, so good for him. Yeah.
Solid.
That's not
solid. Yeah. It's a good video. Go check it out. It's a fighting lion montage.
Oh, yeah.
He found his niche.
He did. He has to find that one gun that takes just a little bit too much like weird skill for the average person to use, but it's extremely like deadly if you can get it to work. You know, high risk, high reward type guns.
He's good with it too.
Oh yeah,
he's good. With
I hate him.
It's
but
just
he's
funny
good.
Taking a gun that everybody thought was the worst exotic, and then he just dominates. You know,
I guess we all should have been listening to Cammy Cakes to begin with because
I think so.
Cammy was obsessed with the fighting lion the first time he saw it, and like I remember playing with Cammy like when he got that, and he was like, "Oh, this is great," and I'm like, "That gun's terrible. What are you talking about? Like, you're a liar. Stop trying to sell me on the fighting lion."
Come on, man. What are you doing?
I know.
Why you just want to make me look bad?
The true tragedy of the fighting lion, I remember playing with Cammy, is that you can't shoot it straight up and have it land and explode on the map somewhere else because it explodes too soon. But like when we were first playing with grenade launchers, I think me, Fallout, and Cammy were playing together, and we were doing countdown against some people, and Cammy was working on finding angles where he could look straight up and have it land on the point, like when people were trying to capture it. And he had a game where he got a double kill, just like standing way back on the map, and he got the grenades to land right on the guys and kill them. Gosh. It was so like hype. It was so stupid. Oh man,
I love how people find stuff like that.
Yes,
though.
That's like the best part about Destiny.
It's funny. In Destiny, people do that a lot, and I've enjoyed seeing people in Fortnite find unique ways to use their mechanics to just do the stuff you would never expect.
Yes, like crazy trap towers that people build to like that kind of that. I think that's why Fortnite has been so successful, is just that it has a lot of that same like fun stupidness to it that Destiny has, and like in a way that you don't have to be the best to be good. The bigger the sandbox, I think, like the bigger the more tools and the bigger the sandbox, like the more fun you have potential to have, you know, and that's definitely there with Destiny. And I think Fortnite has that potential as well in a lot of ways, that just the building aspect and how it works just opens up so many possibilities, so much creative movement, and just things you can do in the game that make it more fun for people to watch.
But other news, a couple of things worth mentioning. If you're hearing this is probably on the 20th, on Tuesday when we push out, but there was a Crimson Days sale on the Bungie store. If you are a Bungie merch collector or acquirer, there's 25% off, which is pretty good. They don't have a lot of sales on the store. It's still live, I think, through midnight Pacific time on the 20th. So if you're hearing this and there was a piece of merch you had your eye on, Go check it out. They still got some really cool stuff they put out with the Curse of Osiris DLC that's new in there. There's a shirt that I've been trying to grab, which is like the Eye of Osiris, like the yellow T-shirt, and it was sold out. And I got an email just a little while ago. It was available, so I got to go grab that. I like that.
I'm gonna go buy all of them while we're talking right now.
You son of a...
Don't worry.
I swear to God,
it's an empty threat.
If I go to the store when we're done and it's sold out, I'm gonna call you out.
It's an empty threat. I have no money. I promise.
It's totally on you. Yeah, you're about to have a kid. You have $0 to spend.
Nothing I can afford to spend.
Now, if I see pictures and it's of your kid just wearing those every day,
we're gonna use them as diapers, like a cloth diaper.
I know what would happen. Like I did this just to make your life hell.
The eye is gonna be right on the butt on the kid, just folded up perfectly. Yeah,
perfect. They'll make good diapers. That's a compliment. There's no.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh, please, somebody, podcaster,
please clip that and just make us look really bad. Oh man. Another piece of notable news is that there is a posting on Bungie's career page for a new head of narrative development.
This is my moment. I'm ready.
I would love to hear what you think.
I'm just like I'm hopping in. I'm gonna go apply, guys. I'm ready for this.
Are you gonna go apply?
Yeah, I got this. No problem. No.
All right, man.
Yeah.
I can't.
How
wait
hard
to
can
see.
it be? Look, I've made a machinima set in Destiny. What could qualify a man more than that?
Absolutely. You've got a script writing minor.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. Look,
you totally got this.
I'm set, folks. Okay, I've written almost tens of scripts in my life. Let's do this. Come on.
You're totally qualified.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we joke, but it was interesting because they also have or had a listing up for another community manager, and a couple of the big bullet points on there was they wanted people that were skilled at playing Destiny. Mm-hmm. They wanted people that had some kind of stake in the Destiny community. And I think that over time, they are starting to put a lot more stock into that, people that are connected to the game and not totally just bringing in people from outside that don't have a lot invested in Destiny.
Capitalizing on that symbiotic relationship between like players and devs more. Yeah.
So you have 3+ years leading and managing creatives on AAA games, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to bring that up too much, but that's kind of my side.
You can fit some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Exhibiting a passion for storytelling and the craft of narrative.
I've got that in spades. I'm ready for this. I
man.
think I could do it. You always hear stories of people apply for jobs all the time that they don't meet the qualifications for perfectly, and they get them. So,
absolutely,
why not?
Absolutely,
I think if you're out there, Bungie, just consider this my application, and you can reach me at my email. It's in my Twitter bio.
Yep.
Yeah.
We will submit this. I will attach an MP3 to an email that I will send to @Bungie.com.
Just send it. Please send it directly to Deej. I'm gonna need you to just send it to him. He'll handle it.
I'll just slide into those DMs and I'll just say nothing. I'll just attach an MP3.
Yeah, there we go. We'll put a picture. Put like a picture of like Bruce Jenner in there too while you're at it. Because Bruce Jenner in his prime, like athletic times, really exemplifies the spirit and vigor that I would bring to the role. So I'm gonna need you to just send that to me. Yeah.
All right, very Olympian.
Exactly,
of you.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep it with the times.
Gotta be current.
Exactly.
Anyways, I find this interesting. I think obviously, that's great if they are looking to fill that position. I don't know specifically who was holding that position, if it was filled, but I think. Not everyone, but many people agree that Destiny can always use some assistance in improving its storytelling. I think
what a diplomatic way to phrase that.
Yeah, I don't know what your opinion is. I did enjoy the Destiny 2 campaign. I think it was really fun. It had some great moments, but for instance, the Curse of Osiris, I felt really flat. What do you think about? I mean, you've got a minor in script writing.
I think that
how do you feel about this?
The problem for me with the Destiny storytelling is it feels very. We're in this big world, but every story feels so isolated in itself. You know, like it doesn't. It feels like Gaul was here and we beat him and that's it. Like, you know, that's a character we could have elaborated on. We could have these threads run longer. We could get to know, we could have smaller moments with our characters. There's a lot of spectacle, but not a lot of character development for like our main character. And all we really get is kind of the vanguards, a little bit of development on them in the story. And I feel like that's a bit of a letdown to me. And I'd agree with you. Curse of Osiris was much less captivating than the main story was. Like they're always good. They're good at characters. They're bad at like telling a story is really what it feels like most of the time. Like I love every character in the Destiny universe. They're just not putting those pieces together in a way that is like long term, keeping me invested in like what's going to happen next, you know? Like,
well, and they always did a really good job. I think that's why the Grimoire is so celebrated by a lot of people, because they had a lot of freedom in the Grimoire with like the myths and legends to tell stories that were interesting.
Yes.
Because they didn't necessarily impact totally what was happening in the game right then, right? It was history. And then there's really fun Grimoire entries about characters that are in the game that added more flavor and characterization to those characters that made you love them even more. And they're really good at that. You know, like the entries where Cade cons Shaxx into helping these kids play some kind of dodgeball game.
Yeah. Or where
it's hilarious.
Where he like the lore tab on the Lucky Pants where like he cheats and stuff like that in the Crucible. Like that's all good.
That stuff hits really just a great sweet spot.
Agreed.
But we're talking about narrative here, and it's the bigger picture stuff where I feel like they cut themselves short.
They do, and they had a strong villain with Gaul. I always said before Destiny 2 was coming out, the thing that's most important in any story, at least in my opinion, is the conflict between the main character and the villain, right? They have to have like perfectly opposite like goals, and I have to be really passionate about my character reaching their goal and the villain not reaching theirs. And Gaul had a perfect like motivation set up for me to hate him. He took away my power. He took away all the crap that I spent 3 years like farming for, you know? I hate him immediately.
The stakes were super high.
Like instantly they did a perfect job of I already know I care about my character because I've spent years with them. I know I hate this guy. And then they kind of gave us our stuff back a little too quickly, and then they got rid of him, and it's like, well, now I don't really have that. There's no villain that I care. I don't even know what Pantsy McCleeseface, whatever his name was, from Panopticles or whatever from from the DLC was doing. I don't even know what he was up to. Like it was like playing on the outside of a Grimoire card for Osiris the whole time. Like I'm just kind of learning more about him, I feel like, but I don't know what is happening. I'm not invested because it's a little too high concept for me to understand the villain's motivations almost. They didn't do a good job of translating what he was up to, I guess, in a way that captivated me. I'm sure somebody is like, he was doing this, if you paid attention, obviously, but like I played it through like once or twice while streaming, and I was kind of half in and out, but either way, he was not a captivating villain, to say the least. He didn't have a character.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, I understand. So I think it's a great thing that they're hiring for this. Hopefully they find a strong candidate that will help improve that part of the game moving forward. It's always been something that I'm interested in seeing because I really love any type of story. And of course I love the Destiny universe, and I want to see big stories in the Destiny universe. So yeah, we'll see. Good luck to you in your endeavor to obtain that job.
Thank you. Yes. And if you want to complain about the story, you can just tweet at me at MegaMagwitch, guys. I've
just go ahead.
Assume I got the
start
job.
Airing it out. Yep. He'll start taking his complaints and making a master document so he can address all of those right away.
Of course.
Well, let me ask you, man, how was your reset?
My reset was, good. Although it was basically only Crimson Doubles so far. Just that little bit of Crimson Doubles I got to play, and my usual extended period of I log back on for the week, and I'm like, oh crap, my Postmaster's so full.
Yeah, clean everything out.
Let's look at all this stuff that I need
do your
to delete.
chores,
yes.
your Destiny chores.
I got my chores done, so my mom said I could play doubles for 30 minutes longer.
So we talked a little bit about the mode. Have you gotten any good loot so far from the Crimson Engrams?
I think all I've gotten from them, I got some ghost shells, which I detest the ghost shell design right now. So those are like instant shards.
You're not a fan of the new one?
I do not like the fidget spinner looking thing that we have right now at all, man. I'm a purist. I need my original ghost back. I wouldn't mind it if there was like a mix, but it's like all this one type, and it's like, it just seems weird to me that it's suddenly changed. I guess there's fashion trends, I'm sure, in the Destiny universe too, and that's the hot thing in the tower right now
that's the new hotness.
Rounded ghosts. Edges are out, man.
Apple ghosts.
Yeah, whatever that nonsense is.
Yeah, I've mostly gotten just ghosts and sparrows so far. I'm holding out to get some of the emotes, and
I'm excited.
Oh, and I got some of the shaders and stuff. Shaders are
the shaders
nice.
Do look really good. Especially, I saw my good friend Story Machine, I think, tweet out a picture of like his midnight coup with one of the shaders on it from Crimson Days, and it looked really nice. Like it was.
Preview that.
Oh yeah, you want to do it.
Midnight Coup's for sale this week, I think.
Oh,
from the raid vendor. I think somebody said it was like 30 tokens. It's a really hard gun to get.
Yeah, it is. People probably don't like me because I infused mine into Better Devils like right after I got it.
Oh, that's dirty. I got one really not too far into the.
Yeah, I got it.
The raid, maybe third or fourth week, I got it from a normal mode run.
Yeah, same for me. It was just like it dropped. I was like, all right, cool.
And then I realized how rare it was because people were like, well, you got what? Yeah.
I know, right? I never get the rare stuff. So I was like, for like a few days I was using it, but then I was like, I like having it, but I more use this other gun. And so
I need these powers.
Yeah.
These power points.
Sorry, guys. Sorry to everybody out there.
But I'm really happy about the change just overall to the event. What have you thought about the almost 180 that they've turned compared to the Dawning?
I really like Crimson Doubles, everything about it. Crimson Days, Crimson whatever is all good to me. Everything lately in Destiny 2 news has been good. It feels like there are problems with the game, but we've been on a strong uptick lately. Yeah. I haven't had any complaints with decisions for a while. And it's good to see that kind of change because, I don't know, for a while there was a lot of negative. It was all bad news.
It got pretty tiring.
It did. It did. It got frustrating to see the game that so much of your life kind of revolves around, or so much of your content creation revolves around, become a constant source of negative news,
Oh yeah.
So it's can you guys
it definitely can make you stop and question what am I supposed to do with this?
Can you guys stop having bad PR for just a minute, please?
For one dadgum week.
Yes. But everything is good for me. My only issue that I'll always have with Destiny 2 is that I can't just buy every emote directly with silver like I could in Destiny 1 at one point. But that's gone. I've accepted it. I get enough engrams to delete crap to get silver dust to buy the emblems that I want. I basically just have no ghost shells or sparrows or shaders. I just delete all of it so I can buy emotes.
You gotta have all the dances.
Exactly. It's like just in case we do anything, I have to have all these. So that's what I do.
Absolutely. I've just been really happy the change with the event engrams are not, they're not gated. They're free flowing. You don't have to buy them. They just, you get them as you level up with the rest of the other reverse engrams. And you can also get them from the post game stuff. So I feel like it's a bit of an olive branch.
It is. And it's a good thing that that they made it that way, since Crimson Doubles is only like a week long, right? Imagine it would not be good if it was so hard to get.
Yeah, you only get 3, and then they're like, sorry, you got to buy the rest.
Yeah, that would not go over well.
No, to say not the least. Well, and then they added the knockout system, which I would love to see on all the Eververse stuff. I totally understand why it's not that way, because they would make less money, but it's really nice to at least know you're not going to get duplicate stuff when you're trying to collect all the different things. So I feel like those are, I said this last week, but it's really positive kind of olive branch to the players for them to, say, all right, we're gonna stop trying to force open your wallets for a little while and let you have some fun.
Let's let the cow, get rehydrated before we milk it anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good analogy for it. The cow, eat some hay and have a couple naps and roam the prairie a little bit.
Can't milk a cow that's dehydrated on pure salt. All right, people. So let's.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's funny. What have you thought about the mode? We talked about that a little bit. It's kind of this weird hybrid of the original Crimson Doubles and Survival and Clash.
Yeah.
What you have played of it? What did you think?
I really enjoyed just the core concept of everything that I played. It's like it's basically like playing Destiny 2 how I wish Destiny 2 always played, if things were a little bit slower on the abilities or the guns were a little more powerful. I want that D1 like everybody else, like a lot of people. I won't say everybody else because there's no everybody else on the internet. There's always that one. Yep. There's always people.
We'll say popular opinion.
Yes, like the popular opinion I share that I would like my weapons to feel a little bit more like the D1 weapons. So but this is a very positive step in the way that the game feels in doubles when you're playing well with a teammate. It gives me a lot of hope for the changes that they've outlined, that they're working on in the future, because they've mentioned going faster or things feeling more powerful or whatever, but in typical Bungie fashion, not with specifics. And it's probably too early for specifics anyway. But seeing how they've made doubles play is almost like a glimpse of how I can at least believe they're probably trying to make the rest of the game play so that it will be more fun for someone like me who loads into quick play a lot solo on stream,
Well, and I think what makes it fun at its core is anytime you get to feel powerful. And so when you're playing the objective correctly, when you're sticking by your teammate, you get your abilities, really fast, similar to Mayhem, not exactly, but at least for your, grenades and melee and your special ability. And it allows you to kind of play a little more loosely with those abilities and, spam grenades. I mean, gosh, have you run into people running the skip grenades?
I've been really fortunate to not run into that because
it's rough.
It sounds like PTSD to Destiny 1 skip grenades. When people talk about it.
Yeah, it's pretty effective. I had a couple buddies that were running that, and they were just rolling over people. I felt bad. They were like, we feel bad. We feel bad doing this. We're gonna keep doing it.
I'm not gonna stop, but I feel bad. Yeah,
I'm not gonna stop. I'll feel guilty, but I feel even better winning. That's how it goes. But it does, just like when Mayhem came around, it makes you feel really powerful, and that can be really fun, even though it's spammy and you might die a lot. Like, there's just this core part of Destiny that's super fun when you feel like a superhuman,
yes.
And you can use the fun abilities that aren't just shooting your gun.
Agreed.
And I think that in that way, the mode is a success. I kind of have a little bit of a gripe with survival, the mode as a whole, because it has this weird element of the scoring system.
Yeah,
where
you score
once somebody's ahead, you don't necessarily have to fight people anymore, and you can just hang back and run the clock out if you want.
Yeah.
I've not been a fan of that since the start, and that kind of being a piece of this mode, it doesn't ruin it, but it leaves a little sour taste in my mouth when it happens.
Yeah, I can see that. Absolutely. It's sort of the vibe of playing playing a fighting game, and there's 20 seconds left and you have twice as much health as the other person, so you're I'm just gonna hang in the corner and block. I'm just gonna kneel here and block. Yeah, come on,
let's
fight at least. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Because it just takes some of the fun away.
I can agree with that. And I haven't run into that a lot, because I think partially because I haven't played that much yet, and also because doubles is there's nothing really to be gained by winning. It's not like it's trials where it's
not trials.
Yeah, I'm not sweating it out I have to. This is my flawless match. I'm gonna camp here. I'm putting up roots, baby. I'm not moving. You're coming to me.
Yeah,
it's not that intense.
Yeah, it's not as common. And I even admit I did it to people, and I felt a little cheesy. I had 30 seconds left, and I was like, "This is a close match. I'm gonna run. I want to win." And I was like, this isn't how this game should be played, but it's just something I hope I think they just need to make some adjustments to survival. And so this mode kind of shoehorns into that. But, people, I've talked about it on Twitter a bit today, and people pointed out, you have a lot of ability spam and that can counteract that. And that's true. So there's ways to work around it as well as heavy.
There are definitely more options with all the abilities for combating that kind of campiness.
Absolutely.
Say if there was no ability recharge, it would basically,
if you're in trials and you're all out of your abilities,
it's literally just you guys have to run in and try to team shot them before they team shot you, but you're coming in, pushing in, so you're at an automatic disadvantage. At least in this, it's you can hit a well-timed grenade and roll out of there or something.
You just throw 3 or 4 grenades in there, and they're gonna skedaddle.
Exactly. Yeah. Try to break them up with your grenades, and then get them separated and pick one to push.
Me, bro.
Yeah.
But I've had fun either beyond all that. It's been a fun mode. I really have always been a fan of doubles since Crimson Doubles came around. They brought it around. I would play it almost any time I could when the mode came up. It's just a little more stripped down and intimate. I think when you're just playing with one other person, like you said, there's more pressure on you.
Yes.
But then there's more pressure to just rely on your teammate, and that can be easier sometimes than playing with a group of 3 or 6.
I'm with you. It makes those clutch moments a little more exciting too. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
You and this guy are really relying on each other, and one of you makes that last minute play.
So when you get that team shot,
you form a bond together.
We did it.
It's a good feeling.
A crimson
and
bond.
And I'm always a fan of one thing that I've kind of criticized Destiny 2 for is I'm really a fan of diversity in gameplay modes, the number of players, making it all 4v4 was a weird choice to me. I think adding in 4v4 would have been a cool option to Destiny 1. But I've always in my Halo days, you do big team, you do your classic 4v4 Slayer, you could do multi-team, you could do doubles, you could do Rumble, all those different options to suit my mood of what I want to play can be bad for when the player population is low. But I feel like they had a good solution to that at the end of Destiny 1 where they were rotating out the playlists,
Yeah, they just kind of consolidated things.
I feel like that was a perfectly fine way to do it, because I don't always want to play 4v4, and I like that when something like doubles rolls around, I have a different option on what I want to do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, there's been rumblings of Rumble returning, and then we've got 6v6 returning for Iron Banner. I'm pretty stoked about that.
It's going to be interesting, 6v6.
Yeah.
I'm still interested in, like, I don't know a lot about game design or maps or anything, but I assume if you designed all your maps around 4v4, you can't just, like, plant in 6v6 and have it play perfectly. So I'm curious how that will, if there'll be specific 6v6 maps, or if that's why they're kind of bringing back some D1 maps, because, like, those will definitely work in 6v6.
Mm-hmm. There was a couple weeks ago when they brought that up, there was a thread in Crucible Playbook where a player was asking that same question, and one of the Crucible designers chimed in, and he was like, well, actually, all the maps were originally designed as 6v6, and in the last 6 months of development, there was a change made to 4v4. So they actually play really well as 6v6. They're big enough.
That's just kind of funny to me, because it's like he's saying they're too big for 4v4. It's like it's a weird way of him saying that that's kind of the case, but
yeah. Well, and he said something to the effect of, like, they were kind of scaled in a little bit or something like. I don't have the comment in front of me, but so I imagine, like, they were maybe a little bit bigger.
That's pretty interesting,
and maybe they fine-tuned them.
Yeah,
but you would have to think, like, if they just flat out decided, yeah, we're bringing back 6v6, they have to have tested it.
Well,
to know, like, okay, yeah, these maps, like, work. They're not going to be, obnoxiously small or anything. And I can see it on some of the maps.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's definitely some that I can see it. There's just, like, I feel like there's a couple that I would maybe think could get crowded, but I can't even remember the names of maps. I'm terrible at it, so I won't even.
And the fact that they're just bringing it in for Iron Banner, they can absolutely
use that as like
to have some of the maps,
exactly, and they can use Iron Banner as just like a test if they want to implement it,
and that might absolutely be what it is, like, because they get a big uptick during Iron Banner, they can pull data just on those matches, because it's a special event, and they can see. I wish that those heat maps would return. They don't ever show those anymore. You remember in D1 and even back in Halo, they would show us heat maps and stuff on maps. Man, we haven't seen those in ages. That'd be interesting to see. But so yeah, that was my reset though as well. We talked a good bit about that. What else are you kind of playing besides Destiny? Everybody's playing other games now too. So
I'm deep hooked hard into Fortnite. That is my that's my bae right now. Fortnite has me kind of hooked the way that Destiny 1 had me hooked, like, yeah. I seem to, even the days where I feel burnt out on it, it's like I watch somebody else play and I'm like, I'll hop on for a little bit more.
Get the itch. Like, it has that effect.
It really does. And I don't know, there's something like, I tied my personal best for a solo kill game today of 15 kills for a win. So that was
dude.
That was a satisfying game right there.
Impressive.
Are
you did you see the patch notes for today?
I did. I got to, like, the
impulse
grenade. I tried the impulse grenade a little bit. I feel like it would mostly be good if I was at, like, Tilted Towers to blow people off of buildings. Other than that, I was like, all I'm gonna do is just throw this and end up, like, launching myself backwards like an idiot. If it's anything like the boogie bomb, I'm gonna hurt myself with it more than I hurt the other person.
Well, I'm most interested in the trolling aspect, because that's 90% of when I play. That's what we use the boogie bomb.
Of course.
Like, we're looting and somebody gets it, and we just go throw it at one of our teammates. We freak out.
That'll be great.
Like, you got
playing
me.
In squads. That'll be great to, like, throw the impulse grenade, like, behind a teammate and just launch them off of the edge. That's gonna ruin a lot of games.
And then. How much of a problem is that going to cause in griefing if you, like, throw somebody off a mountain? Like, how long till people get pissed off enough that they have to change it? Or
I
something?
Can't wait for that. If anything, but that's
it has a utility to launch your teammates into places,
which is
so you'd be losing.
That's
something.
definitely you got to be more skilled than I am to do that, but I'm excited to watch good players make funny plays with that.
I can't wait to watch Lupo do that.
I'm like Lupo and Ninja are gonna find really fun ways to use this. Like
rocket riding.
I just
I can't. I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
I just recently tried to do it for the first time, and my teammate blew himself up behind me on the first shot. Eventually we got it like to work, but I think we were playing on European servers, like, and it was just too laggy for it to like I kept moving a little bit and then just randomly like falling off like for no reason. So I didn't get to experience the joy of it yet.
There was a really funny clip today I saw on Twitter, and it was a team, and this one guy had rockets and the zone was coming and they were on top of a mountain. So he basically rocket rode his teammates out to beat the zone and use, and that was it. Like, and so he just died, and it was to like, My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. And it shows him like dying behind the zone, It was really funny.
That is awesome.
I'll send it to you.
Please send me that.
I was like, man, that is brilliant.
I love,
just like we're talking about how you can use mechanics to circumvent, the convention of the game.
Yes,
it's fun.
It is. I agree. And then, other than that, though, the only other game that I started Horizon Zero Dawn recently for the first time ever, because everyone talks about how that game's the best, but when it came out, so did Breath of the Wild, so I played Breath of the Wild for 1 million hours instead.
Nice.
But I just got it. I've only played like 3 hours or something like that, so I'm very early into it. I don't know.
I've heard nothing but awesome things about the game. I haven't picked it up myself.
I have a tendency to have counter opinions to the popular feelings on popular games. I don't always get hooked by beautiful visuals and really strong narratives in video games. I'm much more interested in like mechanics and stuff like that. So like, it's weird because I love story. Like, but for me, it's like movie and TV story clicks in my brain more than video game story most of the time. So it's like, I struggle to get into a lot of like AAA games, but once I do get over the hump and start getting invested, I usually love them. So I'm still working on getting over the hump in that. But the game that I put the most hours in besides Fortnite and Destiny lately is a game called Celeste, which is my bread and butter, which is a 2D platformer game. I can't remember who made it. It's like a Canadian company, an indie game, and it's got beautiful, like really, really vibrant, colorful, not 8-bit graphics because it's not really, but it's like clearly an homage to older 8-bit like games and stuff like that. And it's just a game where you, it's sort of like Super Meat Boy in its difficulty aspect, if you've ever played that. Which is like, lots of like punishing like spikes and stuff that will kill you instantly, but very quick restart, so you don't feel punished for dying. Like you die, but you're right back where you were. It's so it's like, it's not like I spent an hour and I died, now I'm at the bottom. Like, it's not like that. It's like I was in this room, I died in this room, now I'm at the beginning of this room. It's like, it's not a big deal.
That's not terrible.
And it's all about like climbing to the top of this mountain, and there is a narrative in it about your character going through some sort of internal struggle with like anxiety and depression while they climb the mountain and whatever. But the music and the art and the actual gameplay mechanics are all like 10 out of 10 for me. It's got this awesome, really like chill synth 8-bit soundtrack that like it's like you just, when you listen to it, you bob your head to it, like guaranteed. Like you get a little roll bob going. I can't recommend it enough if you're into old style like platformers. Like, it's aces.
Where are you playing it? What are you playing it on?
I'm playing it on PlayStation. I know it's on Switch. Probably on
and Steam.
Too, I would imagine probably on Steam. And then if you're
they've got an Xbox logo on their site, but it doesn't go anywhere. Maybe they're playing this
probably later release to Xbox. Xbox is always like a bigger pain in the butt to release stuff on, I think.
That's what I've heard.
Which is a shame, but whatever.
I looked up the developers. Matt Makes Games.
Mm-hmm. Matt Makes Games. There you go. I just know that one of my mods is like Canadian and has worked in like game development for indie games kind of himself before, and he was like, I recognize like every name in the credits of this game. like they're just people that he knew. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So definitely check that out if you're in.
Awesome, man. I think I'll probably try to pick this up on the Switch, because we were talking about before the show, games like this are great for that handheld aspect of playing on the Switch.
Absolutely. Know? Sometimes when I'm going to the bathroom, I need a game to really to make the process more entertaining. Yeah.
Well, just wait, man. So you got a baby coming. You're gonna have those sleepless nights where you might just be holding a baby, but you can hold something in your two hands, or you're feeding the baby or whatever. Like, you're gonna fall in love with your Switch.
I've been training for this my whole life, because I'm such a Mega Man nerd that I can beat Mega Man 3 with only one hand on the controller. So I'll just hold the baby and play Mega Man 3, and there we go.
There you go. Yeah. Nice. You're gonna be a pro.
Exactly.
Great, man. Well, I think that'll wrap up our reset. Normally in this part of the show, we would do what's called Dirt Fam Discourse, but we don't have any new feedback this week. That's okay. I forgive you, listeners, but not next week.
There better be something next week.
There better be an email or a speak pipe. We got a couple in the reserves, but they were questions I wanted to have Aaron Knight around for.
That's fair. But he's too busy playing badminton, so
That's right. If you've got some feedback for us, though, about Crimson Days, or about Destiny 2, or about some of the upcoming cool changes coming, we'd love to hear what you think. You can send us an email, destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com, or SpeakPipe, speakpipe.com/destinyreset. We love it either way. Send us some feedback. We love to hear it. And then I've got a couple patron shout outs, new patrons, KenyFan22, Muppet Massacre, and a PayPal donation from Fire Goog. Thank you guys for your support. If you don't know what a patron is, go to patreon.com/destinyreset. And that is where, for as little as $1 a month, you can help support the production of our show. We have lots of patrons. We appreciate them. They make a big difference in our ability to produce this show and not have to come way out of pocket for all the things that we have to pay for, like hosting.
They would never have been able to afford me on this podcast if it weren't for you patrons.
It's really expensive, so I have to write them a big check after this. Thank you, patrons. But yeah, so go on by, check out patreon.com/destinyreset. You also get a couple of benefits. If you become a patron, you get a shout out on the show. You get your gamer tag on our website. And also you get an invitation to a special patrons only Discord channel in our Discord. And you get to talk with us, ask us all the burning questions about what goes on behind the scenes, give us feedback on what you think about the show, and offer suggestions, and get unlimited access to your hosts. So if you are into that sort of thing, go check it out. Also, if you want to do just a one-time donation, if you're not into the monthly deal, we've got a PayPal link on our website. You can go check that out too. We love those as well. Well, Mr. Mega, thank you so much for joining me this week.
It was a pleasure. A pleasure, my friend.
It was a pleasure to have you on. And tell people where they can find you, because I know they're going to want to go track
Oh, my gosh. If you want to be really disappointed with how ugly I am, you can go to twitch.tv/MegaMagwitch, where I stream every day. Schedule's wonky right now because I'm taking the wife to work in the mornings in case she goes into labor, which means my schedule is dependent on her schedule. So I'm kind of live all over the place, but usually you can find me sometime around early morning to late mid-afternoon. I'll be on around that. Follow me on Twitter too, and you'll always know. That's at twitter.com/MegaMagwitch. And then if you want to watch our dance videos, you can go to Husky Raid, but everyone's too busy to make anything right now anyway, so who cares about them? Just come talk to me.
But there's a ton of great Husky Raid dance videos. If you've never heard of this, you absolutely need to go check them out. If you're a Destiny 2 newbie, you missed out on an era.
It was an era, let me tell you.
It was indeed. Well, you can find me at CyborgSasquatch on Twitch and Twitter. And finally, you can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter. Come drop us a follow for updates on all things DRP. And then on the World Wide Web, www.destinyresetpodcast.com. That's your source for all things DRP, as always. Thank you for your iTunes reviews. No new ones this week, but if you're on iTunes, come drop us a review. It helps us get seen and heard by more listeners like you. Yeah. Come hang out. Also, our Discord, if you're not a member, there's plenty of Guardians still playing. If you're out there and you're like, I can't find anybody to play Crimson Doubles with last week or faction rallies, whatever it is, there's still a lot of people playing. Come by our Discord, discord.gg/Destiny Reset. All right, man. Let's wrap this thing up. We got to get you to bed.
Yes, please. I'm
getting sleepy.
Definitely very tired, and I gotta wake up early to take the wife to work tomorrow. So sleep would be appreciated.
All right. We'll have you back on again soon when you're ready. But until next week, have fun playing Destiny 2 and take care, Guardians.